What is going on, everyone? AAP over here at Run Pure Sports. Bringing to you, once again, we got the Strokes Gain Show. We got our two guys. We got Locks, we got Snyder. Snyder will bring you in first. How are we doing this week, man? How are you feeling about Jack's place?
Doing well. Looking forward to this event. Got the yellow polo on for Jack this week. Coming off a fun holiday weekend. I think I did all right in DFS. I don't know. It was kind of a blur the last few days, but I think we did all right. Looking forward to this event. We got a big boy field here this week. Pretty much everybody big name is in the field here this week. So it's going to be another fun week of watching Scotty and Rom and Rory, Cantlay, all the big names this week. Can't wait.
Yeah, Emiliano Grillo, a guy we mentioned last week, got the win. Got the win in a playoff. My boy, Harris English, workbench play, almost got it done. It's good to see that the bench play is headed in the right direction, though. Locks, let's bring you in, my man. How was last week? How are you feeling about Jack's place this week?
Yeah, definitely excited about Jack's place. I do a lot better in these type of tournaments, just me personally. But last week, I hit the value. I hit everything I wanted to. Just my couple of studs I was heavy on killed me by one shot. Denny McPutts couldn't putt a single thing last week, so he kind of crushed me. And just it was a week of just small misses. So it is what it is. I'm excited for this event. Obviously, another elevated event. We like these, so excited to dive in and pick some winners.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, those greens looked like a U.S. Open, looked like a major championship. They were burnt out. They were impossible. You couldn't hold anything on it. Like Grill, I don't know if you guys saw it, but like in the playoff on that par 3, I mean, he was like, the shot he took when just cleared this bunker by inches, rolled onto the green and just whipped all the way around, and he had inside 10 feet to get the win. And then what's his who was he playing? Adam Shank in the playoff. He absolutely nukes it over the green, had a downhill lie, like an impossible up and in. I literally, give me 100 times, I'm never doing it. Give me like 500 times, I'm never getting up and in from there, because I don't know how you keep it on the green. He bump and runs it, taking a little wedge or whatever, bump and runs it into the rough and just lets it trickle on, and it just goes all the way right down to the hole. And it's just, I mean, those greens were absolutely baked out. You couldn't score, you couldn't do anything. And that's where, like, DFS wise, it made it kind of difficult, kind of tilting if you're following along. If you were in first, you loved it, because it was just like, okay, all my guys just battle for par, and you're going to be golden. So it should be a little bit different this week. We're at Jack's place. We're at the Memorial Tournament in, I believe, Dublin, Ohio. I know it's in Ohio, but yeah. Jack's place, it's yielded, 13 under to Billy Ho last year. Patrick Cantlay, two-time winner, 19 under in 2019, 13 under last year. John Rahm, a winner in here in 2020, and then Bryson DeChambeau, 15 under in 2018. So Jack's place is going to bring out, you're going to need everything. You're going to need tee to green play. You're going to need good putting around the green, par 4 scoring. But let's get into it. Snyder, as always, let's kick it over to you. Talk to us about the course this week.
Yeah, we're here at Muirfield Village, like you said. It's a par 72 measuring 7,543 yards. It was recently renovated back in 2020. They're going to have some new tees actually added for this year as well, to add a little bit more length to holes 16 and 17. Golfers will see water in play on 11 holes here. The rough will be playing at around 4 to 5 inches in length. It's going to be a mixture of blue, rye, and fescue here. The greens here are going to be rolling at around 13 on the stemp meter, with some of the most purest, best greens on tour. These are tougher, smaller greens coming in at around 5,000 square feet on average, and have plenty of undulations and runoff areas. This second shot track will give golfers that can fade the ball a slight advantage, I think, here. The renovations Jack did here were to make the course much tougher, longer rough, and he wants to challenge every facet of every club in the bag, he said. Fairway bunkers were pushed back some on holes to account for the longer hitters off the tee. And then the greenside bunkers are some of the toughest bunkers they're going to see on tour here. And Muirfield Village ranks 8th toughest off the tee, with the penalty of missing these fairways the largest on tour. Well, with how pure these greens roll, I actually think it could help benefit some of these bad putters, maybe like Scotty, maybe like Morikawa a little bit. When building a model this week, I was looking in. I want to add strokes gained off the tee with an emphasis on good drives and fairways gained. A strokes gained approach with an emphasis on proximity 175 plus. Around the green, both scrambling and sand saves. Par 5 scoring, strokes gained, difficulty, and long courses. And then putting with an emphasis on bent grass. And if I was looking for like a course comp, I think there's 2 courses that come to mind. It's going to be Augusta National, which I think he designed many parts of this property after it. And then I would look at like a Valhalla, which would be another one of his designs that makes for a good comp here.
Yeah, very good. 4 to 5 inches of rough. Undulating greens. I mean, Snyder, you know how to get us all excited and dialed in. Very, very good. Very good breakdown. We appreciate it as always, Snyder. My only tidbit to add is par 4 scoring. If you go back and if you look at one thing that all the winners had, high correlation thing that all the winners had was par 4 scoring. Typically, over the last 5 years, the golfers that won the tournament were at least inside of the top 5 in par 4 scoring. So I think that's one other thing to add. But yeah, tee to green play, ball striking around the green. You need it all here. Very, very good. If you're new with us, appreciate all of you watching. What we do, we go tier by tier, DraftKings pricing. If you could, before we start, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Helps us out a lot over here at Run Pure Sports. I think we got to dive in. And this top range is top tier. And another thing, too, that I'm going to try to talk a little bit more about on the show as well. I've been working with Captain. I love his projections. Like, golf projections are one of the toughest things because you got to think about it. If a golfer misses a cut, their projection's going to essentially be cut in half. And so, like, creating that projection is not the easiest of things. And so if you are a Run Pure member and if you use our projections, we are modeling it out like we're using a course fit model. I'm going in there and I'm tweaking the weights. I'm looking at all the different stuff, kind of like with Snyder going over the course fit and who he thinks is going to do very well here. Using all of those things and all of those metrics to really tailor our projections to highlight that. So example, if you're in Discord, go over to PGA chat, go check out. I did a little post in there, mainly talking about Scotty and just how when it comes to ball striking, just on a completely different level right now. Up there also with John Rahm. Let's not say that he's like miles above Rahm or anything like that. But what Scotty is doing, ball striking, tee to green play is out of this world. It's insane. Let's get into it. Let's go 10K and up. We got Xander Schauffele all the way up to Scotty Scheffler. Snyder, I'm going to start with you. What are you doing with the top range this week?
Yeah, it's going to be a common theme here, I think, just going forward. I'm just going to continue to play Scotty here. I mean, he's just so much better than everyone tee to green this year. It's just been so elite there. He's gaining an absurd amount off the tee this year as well. Hopefully, I think maybe more people are going to go to Rahm since Scotty has been able to putt. People see Rahm's won this event. But Scotty finished third here in 2021. And if he can at least just putt to a 0 here with these greens rolling so pure, I think it may even benefit him a little bit. If he can putt to a 0 here, there's a chance he could even absolutely lap this field, I think, and win by 5 shots if that tee to green game keeps the same and he can just not lose 4 strokes putting there and make a few putts. I think he could definitely walk away with this. So I'm going to be overweight on Scotty. I'm going to see how things work. If I can play some Rahm, I'll probably mix him in there in like 150s and such. But the next guy I'm going to be going to, I think Patrick Cantlay is just as good as John Rahm on this course. We're getting a $500 discount there. I mean, his course history here is just absolutely elite. He owns golfers off the tee here. He's found his way around this track the best of anyone, I think. 2 wins, a third, a fourth in 4 of his last 5 trips here. He's averaging over 3 strokes gaining putting in his last 4 trips here. So I really like Patrick Cantlay. And then Scotty the Kid this week. I'll be off Xander, off Rory. And if I can fit Rahm into some builds, I'll try and play him maybe at field, maybe like a 20% or something, 15, 20%, try and field him or something. But overweight on Scotty and Cantlay up top.
Yeah, very good. A nice comment here from Spencer Smith. Spencer, see you in the chat each and every week. Appreciate you, my man. It's going to be the first time in a long time since it hasn't rained at Muirfield Village. It's going to play fast and firm. I love that comment because it's big fairways. I think that gives a bump maybe to shorter hitters, guys that don't hit it as far off the tee, but they're going to get that roll, guys that hit fairways and stuff. So I think that's going to be something important to monitor as the week goes on. Locks, kick it over to you. 10K and up range. The studs, Scotty, Rahm really starting to separate themselves. But then you're factoring in the course history of Patrick Cantlay. What are you doing with this top tier range?
Yeah, this top one, just looking at it, it's really hard to say what you want to do, but you just got to take stands. I think that's what we're all really good at, is just taking our stands. I mean, you win some of the weeks, you lose some of the weeks, but you just got to be strong in your stance you're taking. Up here, I'm done doubting Scotty. I mean, I want to fade the guy every week, and it eats me every week, so I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to be playing him for sure. I'm probably going to be lower on Rahm, and I think it's going to be opposite as far as the field goes. I think more people are going to play Rahm. So I'm going to stick with Scotty here personally. And then looking at the other guys, I'm going to be personally off Xander. I do love Cantlay here, as Snyder mentioned, basically for all the same reasons he said. He's also won here twice, looks in decent form right now. So I'll be playing Cantlay. And then I'll always play some Rory at under 10% ownership. I think he's going to come in around 10%, maybe less. So I can't not play a guy with Rory's talent at a decent course history. He's not striking the ball the best. His accuracy and the driver haven't been the best, but I'm still okay going there at that ownership.
Yeah, very good. Rory's the interesting one. And for me and how I like to play, it's going to be an MME week for me. I'm always trying to get over on these guys I want to take stands on. I do think, just looking at it, the early ownership projections I'm seeing right around 18 to 20% on Scheffler, Rahm, and then a little bit more on Cantlay. I think that all makes sense, and I think Rory ends up being the guy that goes overlooked here, and that also makes sense because when you just compare those two guys, and I keep I keep saying the same thing. I'm like, I gotta have Rory just for like tournament, a tournament standpoint, but like maybe if it was like a wet course, maybe because where does Rory usually thrive? One, we want big fairways. We want that driver in hand, and we want like a wet course because that's going to separate those guys, off the tee. If we're not going to get that this week, to get overweight on Rahm and Scheffler, I might have to make some cuts. And my cuts, honestly, I'm going to sound like a chalk donkey here, but like my cuts might be Rory and Schauffele. I ran that first build. You can go into chat and you can see it using just the base projections. And you were able to get a decent ownership number on Scheffler, Rahm, and Cantlay. So that's going to be the route that I look at first because I'm with you guys. Scheffler, the putter is going to come around at some point in time. Snyder, I love your comments about just bad putters can do good here. Historically, when you look at the stats, you do want a good putter. But, Billy Horschel, he was actually in good form coming into this event. I actually think it might have been Cantlay who brought in some terrible form, and then he came in here and got the win. I got to go back.
He won at this event and then finished second as well. He's a horrible putter.
There you go. I love that comment. And that just goes right to Scotty Scheffler. No one is touching him. Rahm is up there, okay? Rahm is up there. But from a tee to green standpoint, ball striking, everything, it is insane what he's doing. So I love Scotty this week. Again, I'm going to feel like I'm beating a broken drum. Ranks, and I do my metrics. I'm looking at approach. I love driving distance, around the green play, tee to green, par 4 scoring. He ranks first in par 4s, first tee to green, first on approach, second around the green, fourth in driving distance. I mean, Scheffler, dude, he has it all. He's just incredible. He's always going to be up there in contention. So get exposure to him, get overweight, try to get him set your minimum at 30, 35%. Do that, and at least you're likely to be overweight the field. So this top tier range for me is easy. It's Scheffler, it's Cantlay, and then it's Jon Rahm for me. Snyder, let's kick it back to you. Let's go down to the 9K range using DraftKings pricing.
Yeah, there's a pretty good range here. I think I'm going to just try and play 2 or 3 of these guys here. I'm going to go right back to my guy, Colin Morikawa here. I think he's going to be 6 to 9% ownership this week. We get him under 10%. I really like.
Hashtag nice.
Yeah, I mean, his game was kind of built for this place, as we've seen with his course history here. He won the Workday here and then was second to Cantley here in 2021, lost in a playoff to Cantley there. He's actually gained over 4 strokes putting on these greens twice. If he does that for a third time, he's definitely winning this event, I think. So I really like going back to Morikawa. He played all right. I mean, he shot even par both days on the weekend, which is actually a pretty good score over the weekend. So I think he played well enough last week. And I really like the price tag on him too at 9,900. He's ahead of Hovland, Day, Hatton, Thomas, Sungjae, Fitzpatrick, Spieth, Cameron Young. So I think all those guys are going to see more ownership than Morikawa. So I'm going to go right back to him. Didn't kill us last week. I mean, it definitely wasn't good, but 29th, 26th, he's getting close. He was 10th at the Masters, which is a kind of a comp to this. He gained strokes putting at the Masters as well. And then the next guy I really like in this range is Tyrrell Hatton. I was kind of interested to see his ownership. I think it's going to be right around 15%, which is just fine. I mean, I really like his game coming into here. He's just playing absolutely elite golf here. He and the betting markets actually love him a lot too. He's got better odds to win than JT and some of these guys up top. I think he's got the 7th best win odds in this whole field. He's been gaining off the tee in 12 of his last 13 events. He's gained 5 strokes with a short game in the last 4 events. I really like how Hatton is coming into this event 15th, 5th, and 3rd in his last 3 events. I think he's going to definitely be a contender here this weekend. And then I'm going to be fading Sungjae. But I think I'm going to be pretty much off of JT. I'm going to be off a Day. And then I may play some Hovland. I'm not sure yet there, but pretty much going to be off the rest of these guys in this range.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Thomas is like, I get like,
hurtful.
It just tilts me, like talking about him. It's like I want to like X him out, not even think about it. I don't know what's up with him, but something is up. His game is not right at all. So I'm with you. And the other thing about this 9K range, this is there's 3 guys in here that are just really pop when it comes to par 4 scoring. Hatton ranks 2nd. So I absolutely love that mention. Locks, let's kick it over to you. 9K range, a bunch of like tournament options, especially if you're trying to get Scotty, Rahm, Rory. This tier seems like it will go a little bit neglected this week. What are you doing though with the 9K range?
Yeah, I'll start right away with Tyrrell Hatton. I'll just go 3 for 3 with you guys. I do love that call this week. Probably one of my top 3 guys in this range. I think I might only honestly play 3 guys in this range, and I'll mention them here. But Tyrrell Hatton is definitely one of those guys. Just tee to green all year, he's been stellar. He putts the ball great. Just a guy I want to have at a course like this, at a tough course like this. So I'll be playing a lot of him. I do like Sungjae M. Tee to green wise, I always like the guy. His approaches have been a little off, but I mean, accuracy and greens and regulation are kind of big things here, and he's one of the best in those categories. So he got 10th here last year. I think he competes again this year, and I think he's coming in probably 6 to 8% if I had to guess. I'll gladly take a stab on Sungjae M at that ownership. And then the other guy is Colin Morikawa. I do think he's possibly live to win here as well. It's just going to come down to his putter, which, as Snyder and we've mentioned all show, you don't have to putt the greatest to win at this course. If you're striking the ball how you're supposed to be striking the ball and hitting fairways and greens, that's half the battle, more than half the battle. So I like Morikawa, Hatton, and Sungjae. I'm probably going to be fading or under the field on the rest of the guys in this range.
Yeah, very good. So the par 4 guys that I was talking about, it's Tyrrell Hatton, who is 2nd, Jason Day, who's 3rd. I actually like Jason Day this week. He went in, so he got the win at the AT&T Byron Nelson, kind of a sneaky win there. Then he went into the PGA Championship, notably like not practicing or anything like that. He just wanted to get rested up. And honestly, I think it had been so long since Day had a win. I think he just was just freaking pumped. And it's like, you know what? Like my game is heading in the right direction. But now when we get to these bigger events, especially like this week, a course that he's been really good at, his game sets up really well for I really like him, and I feel like maybe he falls under the cracks a little bit, especially when you look at Hatton. Hatton should be the popular play in this range, and then I think Hovland also will get some ownership. I'm not sold on Hovland. I do think around the green play is going to be important this week. He checks every other box, though, and he's been awesome. So, there is that. But
this is the week to fade him, I think.
His course history just isn't good here for some reason. Now it's Hovland. Like, he's really coming into his own. That could change at any point in time. I'm not like, I don't know. And again, like, I wish I was a Hovland guy of late because he's been pretty good. The T2 at the PGA Championship, 7th at the Masters, obviously course comp that we talked about. You got to make some cuts here. You can't play everyone. You got to love how Hatton is playing right now. I like his game for this track. He's not the longest off the tee, but I think that's mitigated a little bit by the course drying out, kind of like what Spencer Smith was talking about. If he gets roll off these fairways, that should give him a little bit more distance. And then Jason Day is interesting. But I had a little bit of interest in Sung J M. I'm not going to cut him out right away. It's just so weird. Like, I think he makes a cut. Like, he has to be a lock to make a cut. When's the last time Sung J M's ever missed like 3 cuts in a row? Like, if you want a cut maker in your lineup, I think Sung J M rebounds and makes this cut. It's what he does. He's also phenomenal around the green. Where he lacks right now is his distance off the tee, and his approach game hasn't been that good. But he'll get it dialed in. So I think Sung James a little bit interesting. I think my cuts, though, Hovland, I'm definitely going to cut. And, I mean, JT, like, come on, JT. Like, I don't know. He does have a tee.
That hurts for both of us to say to fade JT.
I know. It's painful. Like, Locks, what do we do? Like, I mean, this guy's showing us nothing. Like, I am a homer at times. I like playing my guys, but this dude's been hurtful. Like, I don't want to just light money on fire. That's what it's basically been, playing Justin Thomas right now. So I think I definitely have him ranked behind Hatton, behind Day. And I mean, I'd probably rather go up to Snyder's boy, Colin Morikawa, before playing him. So it's just painful times. I think I'm just going to wait till I see something in his game that can make me play him. But I don't see this being the week for him. So Hatton for me, I like Day. I think both of those guys are really strong plays. Snyder, let's keep it going, man. The 8K range, I love the lower half of this range. There are also some interesting plays. It's like, what do we do with Cam Young? Cam Young, a beast off the tee. He showed a ton of life at the match play event, and that was when he got his new caddy. But honestly, ever since then and the Masters, after that, he's been horrible. So what are we doing with this range? And specifically, I want you to comment too about Cam Young.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to Cam Young. I was hoping for a lot there, but man, his game just looks absolutely lost right now. He's only hitting about 50% of his fairways too, so I think that could come into some trouble. He finished 60th here, has finished 51st, 59th, and missed cut at the PGA. I think I'm just going to get off him there. I think he'll be somewhere around, it looks like around 10% owned this week, so I'm just going to get off him. I really do like the bottom of this range, as you kind of hinted on coming into this range here. I like Corey Connors. He was 8th at the Wells Fargo and then 12th at the PGA. He's been great off the tee in his last 6 events. Has actually been putting better too this year, so I like that. He's been pretty good in his 3 trips here, 13th, 53rd, and 22nd. So I like Connors in the low range. And then another guy I've been playing recently here over the last month or so, I think his game's really kind of been trending up over the last month, is Adam Scott. The ball striking, the short game's been there for him. He got 8th at the Byron Nelson, 5th at the Wells Fargo. Last year was a little bit of an outlier with his finish here. He lost over 10 strokes with the short game. But I really like Adam Scott. He has finished second here a few years back, 16th in 2021. And then he was 67th last year, but that was mainly due to just a complete anomaly, I think, with the short game there. So I really like how Adam Scott's game's trending. I'm going to play him. And then I'm going to play Siwoo Kim at 8K flat too. I think his game is really trending upward. I mean, he's got some elite history too here too for the price range, or where he's usually priced at coming this event, 18th, 9th, and 13th in his last 3 trips here. He was second at the Byron Nelson. He was top 10 at that Zurich Classic, the team event. They were 7th there. He was 29th last week. I really like how his game's trending upwards. So I'm going to be on some Siwoo Kim, Adam Scott, then Corey Connors, kind of in the bottom of this range, which really helps me because I want to play those 3 guys probably in the top range, then 2 guys out of the 9K. So it kind of helps me eliminate, the bottom of that 9K range and the top of the 8K range to kind of fit those guys in there and kind of then jam in the 7K guys later on.
Yeah, very good. I just like the bottom tier of this range is really projecting to get some ownership. Adam Scott, Shane Lowry, and Siwoo Kim, the course history, the course horse guy. He actually ranks 2nd in total strokes gained here over the last 5 years. So that's going to be something that really pumps up his ownership. But it just makes me think like Cam Young, we know the upside that he has. He ranks 1st in driving distance. His approach has actually been pretty good. He's actually been okay on par 4s. I think he's going to be like incredibly low on this week, which makes me somewhat interested, especially if the Cam Young.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm showing like 5 to 8% or under 10%.
I think he'll be like 8 to 10%. Yeah.
And who knows if the bottom tier down here gets pumped up, which it seems like it does. It always seems like Sam Burns is another guy that gets a little bit underowned as well, or just forgotten about. And like these are elite talents, and it's you can see all types of golfers win here. We've seen Bryson, we've seen Billy Horschel, Patrick Cantlay, like many different types of golfers can win here. So locks 8K range. I do think this is going to be one of the more interesting ranges if you're trying to get the Scotty Schefflers, the John Rahms in your build. You're going to have maybe 1, maybe 2 golfers in this range potentially in your build. So what are you doing, though, with these guys this week?
Yeah, for me in this range, too, it's looking down more towards the bottom. And it pains me because this week I'm fading a lot of guys that I've been high on all year. I'm probably fading Cam Young. I'm fading JT, as we just talked about. So I'm fading a lot of guys I do like. Cam Young, like we talked about, he's lost it like everywhere. I mean, yeah, he's a beast with the driver, but not accurately. So that kind of worries me here. And with his putting and stuff, I mean, it's so bad that I don't think I can play him. Not at this event anyway. So I'll be off of him. I'm off of Spieth. I don't think he's honestly 100% healthy. Does have great course history, so a lot of people are going to go there still, but I'm not gonna. I'm going to be off Hideki, off Burns. I'll be playing Fowler. He's looked very good to me. I'll be playing a little bit of Sahith Theegala. I do like him here. Actually, a couple decent placings here, 32nd and 5th, and it's 2 times here. He's been hitting the ball really well, so I do like a little bit of Theegala. And then I'm torn on Wyndham Clark. I'm hoping you guys can talk me in or out on him. Right now I'm leaning out. I'll be off Lowry and Scott, and then I do like Siwoo Kim. Actually, really good course history here. 3 top 20s his last 3 times here. Hitting the ball really well right now. He's got to win this year. So I'll be playing a little bit of Siwoo Kim down at the bottom as well.
Yeah, so just going off the fact that the course could be playing a lot faster, actually, I mean, it's very likely that that's going to be the case. I'm in the Midwest. Snyder, you're in Snyder, you guys battle like at Firethorn. You're probably having to water that place all the time with how dry it is here because the Midwest basically in a huge drought. That's just going to help guys like Shane Lowry, these shorter hitters that are like really good iron players. And that's where I'm going to have a ton of interest, especially like Shane Lowry, decent history here. And he finally flashed some form with the T12 at the PGA Championship. So, yeah, Lowry, I think, is interesting. Adam Scott's this guy's playing some great golf right now. He's been awesome on par 4s. His putting's been really good. He's got great history here. Adam Scott, definitely going to be in my player pool. I want to keep Wyndham Clark in there. I want to be a believer in the ball striking. Obviously got the win at the Wells Fargo championship, then missed the cut to PGA, then took some time off. Then he'll be teeing it back up here. Corey Connors, again, another guy that I think I love this bottom tier range, like Theegala, another guy that the bigger fairways here, I think is really going to help his game. I think Ricky Fowler, you can make a case for him as well. I think Snyder, I can't remember what it was, but I believe Snyder, we finally got you. Usually you get us each and every week, but weren't you making fun of us for Ricky Fowler at the Charles Schwab, right?
What
do you do?
I've been right. Did we? What was our bet? I can't even remember.
I can't even remember, but T6, Big Dick Rick, baby.
He probably had to have rolled the guys I had then.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely want to bet.
I can't even remember what it was. Maybe if chat
double down this week, then let's double. I'm sure you won. Yeah, you had to have won. I mean, I don't think I had.
That's my problem with these bets. I never remember.
I totally didn't write it down. Mine was
I had to even ask you guys right at the end who I had, and I didn't even write it down.
That's
I had to have lost, so there's no way I won.
Yeah. Anyways, like when I look at this rant, like there are so many, like how I see I always try to think about it too. Like how are my builds going to set up? If I like Scotty Scheffler, like I don't think I'm going to have any like Scheffler and Rahm. I think it's going to be obviously Scheffler or Rahm, maybe even Cantlay. Like fitting all, two of the three in might be kind of thin, but if you limit it to one and then you try to get, 35 or so percent of each or more, you can mix and match a lot of these guys, because I think a lot of these guys in this bottom tier range could be in contention, definitely live to post a top 10. So that's Ricky Fowler, that's the Heath, Corey Connors, Wyndham Clark, Shane Lowry, Scott. I think this range is loaded, and I want a lot of these guys. And I think I do think I'm going to sacrifice this upper 9K range in favor, or the bottom 9K range, and my boy Justin Thomas in favor, and actually the upper 9K range or 8K range. So that means Jordan Spieth, Matt Fitzpatrick, Hideki, probably Sam Burns. I'm probably going to just cut all of them. Cam Young, if the projected ownership is low enough, I think I just, being the contrarian, like I got to play a little bit of them. You know what I mean? Maybe get like
low
10%.
enough. I'm with you there.
Yeah, like he's just too, like I think we all should, to be honest. He's just too good of a talent. You put him at 10%, like he's not going to kill you at all, if you get 10%. So yeah. But I love the bottom tier of this range. I think my favorite though, if I had to like pick one guy who I just think is like safe and I think the game is like strong, I mean, yeah, it has to be Corey Connors, 8,300. I think the firmness of the course gives him a little extra of a bonus because he's going to get a little bit more distance off the tee, and the irons are always rock solid with Corey Connors. Let's keep it going. We got another.
Ask you guys a question earlier. I was thinking about coming into this week setting a rule of minimum one of Scotty, Rahm, or Cantlay coming into this for my teams or something. Kind of tinkering with that. Any thoughts on that of locking or like MME and having at least one of those top three studs in your builds this week?
Yeah, that was the kind of what I was just talking about. I think it's kind of interesting if you like if you don't, because all right, the problem if you try to go Scotty and Cantlay, it's going to bring in 1 to 2, most likely 2 6K guys. So one thing that I found when I first ran that, it was giving me 100% Scotty and it was giving me like 100% Aaron Rye, 2 gloves Aaron Rye, who was like a 6.5. We're not down there yet, but so I think that is really intriguing, capping it at one of the three and then getting multiple of these 8K guys. You can almost create a group, kind of like what I do in NASCAR, create this 8K, lower 8K group and saying, I want at least two guys from this group in all of my builds, and then bump up Scotty as well. I think that's a really interesting route, Snyder. What do you think about that rule of having no more than one of Scotty, Cantlay, or Rahm?
Yeah, I like it just for the fact of, like you said, you're going to have the 2 6K guys or maybe even 3 with those if you got 2 of those guys. I personally, I don't know. I don't like locking anybody, even in MME 150, unless I just think they're far and beyond everyone in this field. I mean, I couldn't see myself doing at least one of Scotty or Rahm, maybe the top 3 guys possibly. But I just think, to me, that's narrowing down too much. I lower my player pool enough down to like 25, 30 golfers that I don't think I need to set something like that personally. But I could see doing it. I'm totally fine doing it. If you're that confident, hey, it's Scotty this week over Rahm. or hey, it's Rom this week over Scotty, I'm fine if you want to do that. Personally, me, I never lock it in like that.
So no, but what he's saying is having a group and saying like you want all three, but you don't want them in the same lineup.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I mean?
I definitely have done that. Yeah, you want to make pools like that throughout as you kind of go. Definitely a way to do it for sure. Because if you're going to have more than one of those guys, it's going to be very tough to get anything else in there.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's keep it going. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot over here at Rumpier Sports. If you're not familiar with us, come check us out. We are going to be running a summer special here very soon. So maybe wait till tomorrow or Thursday, because that's going to be dropping here shortly. Come on, like the summer months, not as many sports going on. If there is a sport, we're going to be grinding. We're going to be getting the work in on it. We do have the French Open tennis going on right now, which is awesome. We got the NBA Finals, a big, I think, Millie Maker on Thursday for Game 1. That's going to be a ton of fun. Obviously, we're going to have all the content out for it too. The PGA product is awesome. Snyder, you do a fantastic job on the playbook. You also do the Showdown playbooks as well. I got my heat map. Big T's got his PGA notes. He's got we all got our core plays and everything. So yeah, come sign up, come test us out, come check us out. But Snyder, let's move on to the 7K range. I think another loaded range, a range that I'm going to have heavy exposure to this week. What are you doing with the 7K guys?
Yeah, it's kind of wild looking at this. Usually we see like such a huge group of guys in this 7K range. With it being an invite here in a smaller field, that we don't have the big amount of options here in this 7K range. I think there's like 30 guys, 35 guys here in this range, when sometimes we'll have 70 guys in this range. But looking at these guys, I think kind of just starting at the top, going down, Henley's a fine option if you want to go. He's been playing some pretty good golf. Tom Kim is finally starting to get lower priced at. I think you can start maybe going to him a little bit. He's been playing all right. Did miss the cut at the PGA. I'm going to be fading Grill off the win there. Keegan Bradley's a guy you can always play, in some of these GPPs or type stuff like that. He's got such a good upside. Doesn't have the best course history here. He's missed 2 of his last 4 cuts here. Best finish has been T37 in his last 4 tries. Off Cam Davis, probably off Woodland. And some of the guys I do like, I think I'm going to go to some Benny On this week. He's such a good a ball striker. He has missed his last 2 cuts here, but he was second here back in 2018. He's been playing some strong golf there. 6th, 13th, 33rd, 14th, and 21st are 5 of his last 6 finishes. So I think he's fine there. Kurt Kitayama has been playing well. I think he's an interesting name. KH Lee's a guy that just continuously just starts battling. He's made the cut here 3 times in a row. Was 8th at the Wells Fargo. 7,300 is fine for him. Brian Harmon is another guy I've kind of been watching to see if he's going to start popping again. He was 7th at the Heritage and missed a couple cuts. Last week he was top 30. He finished 18th here last year. Was 27th here in 2019. So I think Harmon's a solid value play. And a guy I really like, I've been playing the last couple of weeks, has been Ryan Fox. He's going to be 5 to 8% owned down here. Back-to-back top 25s. I think he's got the game to contend here, too. He's gaining strokes off the tee and approach over his last 36 rounds. So I like Ryan Fox. Buckley's fine. And then Nikolai Hogard is a guy I've been playing pretty much just every time he's been playing on the PGA Tour. He's played 4 events here. Recently, he's been solid every one. He's made the cut every time. 33rd, 32nd, 28th, then 50th at the PGA. I think he kind of melted down on the weekend there. Jaeger will probably get some ownership too, but I think Ryan Fox is probably my top option here in the 7K range.
One of my favorite calls is Brian Harmon. And again, I think what will happen is like people are going to realize what, when you get a course that really dries out, and Spencer Smith, hopefully next week we're, absolutely stroking you the whole show again. But you don't understand, it really brings these shorter hitters into play, especially a guy like Brian Harmon, who is a good iron. He's not long off the tee, and that's where his disadvantage is against a lot of the big hitters. But when you narrow the gap a little bit in a a firm and fast fairways can do that. When you get that roll out, he makes it up on the short game, and that could really come into play. Iron play and around the green play could really come into be a huge factor. And those are two things that Brian Harman are awesome at. He's also awesome at shipping GPPs. He shipped the Millie for our boy Big T. And like this guy, like no one respects him at all. Like he's going to be unowned this week, 7,200, and you can't tell me that like his upside isn't as good as like Bezaden out. It's going to be like 5 times his ownership. Like I'm never playing Bezaden out over friggin' Brian Harman. And that's where our edge is going to be. So Snyder, absolutely love that call. I'm with you on him. I think just by watching Locks and the reaction there too, I think Locks is also going to be in lockstep with you.
One more thing to add on Brian Harman there. It's a great point you made on the extra rollout he's going to get there.
You like that?
Just ruined the transition.
I know, he did.
I was just going to say, Harman's been hitting 68% of his fairways last 36 rounds, so hitting the fairway is a huge advantage. And like you said, if he's going to get that extra
Why can't we round up? A little 69%.
70%.
I mean, that
69, even nicer.
There you go.
Sorry, Locks.
Oh, Snyder. Locks, 7K range. A few options down here. What are you doing with these guys?
I just had to chime in because it was going to be a GOAT transition, and Snyder just aced it. I mean, it is what it is. But
I just sorted by best accuracy, and Brian Harman was like top 3, so I had to throw that in there.
All right, perfect. Well, I am on Brian Harman this week with you guys, so that'll be the 3 of us all on him, I believe, in this range. I'll kind of break it down. I just kind of go through as usual in these ranges. Who I'm playing, who I'm not playing. I just kind of skip over. For me personally, I like Tom Kim a lot up top. Personally, I think this course is going to fit him well. I don't really see him coming in very high owned. I'm going to say under 15% if I had to guess. I'm going to guess around 12, 13 if I had to call something out for him. So I will be playing a little bit of him at this course. I'm off of Bradley, off of Davis, off of Woodland. I'll be going back to Denny Putts. I don't think he's going to putt bad again, because around the green game is what scares me a little bit. But if he's hitting the greens and stuff, which I think he'll do here, I do like him. 5th last year, coming off a miscut, so I do like the bounce back spot for him. Billy Ho is where I'm kind of torn. Extremely good course history. Finally just made a cut recently here last week. So we'll see. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can sway me on him. I probably won't go back to Harris English unless AP talks me into him this week. I do like Benny On, Kurt Kitayama, KH Lee. Those 3 guys I do like. I'll be sprinkling in Tom Hoagie, who's another good iron player. Do have some interest there. Love Brian Harman, as we talked about. Taylor Montgomery is a guy that hasn't been mentioned yet. I think I saw AP talking on Discord about him a little bit with one of the guys. Some interest there in Taylor Montgomery, kind of popping for me a little bit. And then Ryan Fox, maybe Snyder talked me into a little bit. And then Hogard and Jaeger down at the bottom for me. I like Hogard the same way. Every time he plays on the PGA Tour, I sprinkle him in. And then Jaegerbaum's just been great, tee to green. Has looked really solid this year, so I'll be sprinkling him in as well.
So first off, unknown, very, very interesting name there. Bezaden out 21st, Harman 29. When you look at DK scoring, that's what we care about. We're playing fantasy golf here. Harman outscored him, I believe. I don't have the actual numbers up, but I was looking at DK points gained, and Brian Harman 47. Yeah, I got to go. Like I believe he made more birdies than Bezaden out. Like Bez just doesn't make birdies, and yeah, if we think it's going to be a low scoring week, Bez could be fine. That's just the problem with him. And I always get sucked into playing him too. He just has struggled with scoring. So, and I think Harman is going to be able to score this week if he gets that extra added distance off the tee. You would think. You would think at least. So, Locks, yeah, I'm going to do my best to talk you back into Harris English. I think Harris English is just, man, he's close. T3 at the Wells Fargo. T12 last week, he was right there. I mean, obviously it was. I thought he was going to win it. I really did, and the course was tough. But the dude is again, he's good at hitting fairways, very accurate off the tee. He just lacks distance. That's going to help this week. He's good on par fours, and his putter is very hot. It struggled a little bit last week, but he eventually got it going. And then he's very good around the greens too. So I really like Harris English. I'm going to be going back to him. Tom Kim, I like him. Like, what does Tom Kim struggle with? Putting. Snyder, if we go off your narrative that bad putters maybe can putt a little bit better here, I like that call. Keegan Bradley, I group him up there with the like those 8K guys. I have him kind of pooled right there. I think he's a fine play. I could definitely see him contending at a track like this. I mean, he was right up there at the PGA Championship, and then he just faltered through the weekend. He just was very, very hurtful and disappointing. Grillo, I'm not going to go back to him. Gary Woodland, I can't play him here. I value putting and around the green play at a track like this. I do not think it's going to be a good track for Gary Waterland. Cam Davis, I think he had his moment. And actually, I think Snyder, I was right about him. The zigzag theory. So remember we talked about that last week, right? The zigzag theory. And I think that's what our bet was. I think it was Ricky Fowler against Cam Davis.
Yeah, it could have been.
Run the tape back.
Yeah.
We could run the tape back, but I'm pretty sure that was the bet.
Yeah, I'll get you guys squared away.
Oh, there we go. Unknown got it figured out for us. Appreciate you. So, yeah, 57.5. I mean, there you go. But for me, it's like an ownership play. Like, if Bez is going to be 10% and Harmon's going to be 2%, give me all the Brian Harmon just for the pure leverage score. So, thank you for finding that unknown. So Cam Davis, if you're a believer in the zigzag theory, it means he's going to bounce back this week. And the thing about Cam Davis is didn't he just absolutely shit down his leg? Like he had, 2 or 3 hole, like closing holes where he just like 3-putted and I don't remember it exactly, but I'm pretty sure he just completely gave it all away. So I don't know. Maybe we go back to Cam Davis. I mean, he's looked good. This is a course where it seems like it would fit his game. So if you believe in the zigzag theory, I mean, yeah, you go back to him. Matt Kuchar, again, I think Kuchar is interesting because he ranks first around the green. So short game is awesome. He's an awesome putter, and his irons are always, very fine. His driver distance is terrible. So if the course is playing firm and fast, that's going to help a guy like Matt Kuchar. So I have some interest. Chris Kirk, I think he's interesting. Our boy Benny On. I love Benny On this week. Benny On, I mean, he lost the playoff against Bryson DeChambeau, but Benny On was right there. I think 2018 finished T2 there with, I can't remember who else was in that play. I know it was a 3-man playoff. It was Bryson and I bet it'll come to me, or Chat can help us out with that one. But yeah, I like him. I like Brian Harmon. I think he's going to be a nice play. Ryan Fox, we talked about him last week. The guy's just been an absolute machine. I'm going to go back to him. Patrick Rogers. I think Patrick Rogers is kind of a poor man's Wyndham Clark. When you look at how his game sets up, the ball striking's good. He's long off the tee, and his putter has actually been decent. And he's been a decent cut maker as well. I could get on board with him. And then, our boy Jagerbaum, very disappointing at the over the weekend of the Charles Schwab. I want to go back to him, but man, I really needed him with one of my builds, and this guy was horrendous.
I know.
Like, absolutely, he just gave up. Absolutely, like what did he shoot? Almost like an 80 on that final round. It was an absolute joke. Man, I don't know. I think maybe I'm going to go to your boy Hogard if I had to play a 7K guy, Snyder over Jagerbaum, but I think my favorite play, just to put a bow on this range, Snyder. I love your call on Brian Harmon. I think Brian Harmon's going to be a fantastic play. Let's keep it going. Let's get down to the 6K range. Again, I think a lot, if you go the Scotty, the John Rahm, the Rory or Cantlay, if you go those top tier guys, it's going to naturally pull in some of these 6K guys. And I do think there are quite a few that are very much in play this week. So, Snyder, let's start us off with the 6K range.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of options down here, and the 6K range is definitely very, very big this week. There's a lot of options in here. I'm going to be playing quite a few of these guys, mixing them into builds. I like Alex Smalley, 6,800. I think that's fine. He's been playing good recently. 3 straight made cuts, 40th, 23rd, 18th. I think everything but the putter's been good for him. He's losing 0.62 strokes over the last 36 rounds. He can turn that around. I think he's right there. I mean, he's hitting greens, he's hitting fairways. I think he's a fine option there. Justin Sue, 6,900. I think he's a good option. I've been playing him recently. 16th last week. He was 26th at the PGA Championship as well. I think he's a fine option there. Kind of going down a little bit more. I don't think I'll get to Brandon Todd. I do like Mr. Strill Daddy here. I've been kind of looking at him, waiting for him to kind of pop again. He usually pops a few times a year. 9th last week, and then he
really does, Snyder. I'm glad you brought that up, and I only interrupt you because he does just randomly like start to pop, and you got to hop on, and then you got to know when to exactly hop off. So love that mention.
Definitely there. Yeah, he was at 18th at the Wells Fargo too, and then 9th last week. A couple tougher courses there. He was 13th here in 2021 and 4th in 2019. So I think Strillman's a real good option at maybe 3 to 5% ownership. Super easy to get overweight on him. You don't have to play a ton of him either. You'll still get over the field. Austin Eckroat's a guy I'm going to keep playing. I played him the last few events. 16th last week, 2nd to Byron Nelson. 6,600 for him is fine. Aaron Rise, fine if you want to go there. I don't know if I'll get there or not. Looking at some more guys. I like Matt Neesmith quite a bit here. Finished 37th here last year. He's been kind of on a under the radar, playing some really good golf for his price tag recently. He's 6,500 this event, 23rd, 30th, 35th, and 4th in his last 4 events, and was top 40 here last year. So I think he's definitely a good option there. Chad Ram probably won't get the Chad Ramey. David Lipsky's finished top 20 last week. He made the cut here in his last 2 trips here, top 15 to top 40. He could be a play you're looking at there. Not too much else getting real down here. I don't see too many names down here. I
definitely think you can open it up though this week.
Yeah.
You see random you see random guys like pop at Muirfield all the time.
Oh, I see a name down here. I haven't seen this name in quite some time. I played this guy a lot last year. Mr. Gotterup, 6,200. I may have to throw some in there just for fun. I mean, he had some events last week where he just absolutely nuked a few times. So I like him at 6,200. And then your guy Ches Reavie there, he's made 5 of his last 6 cuts and was 22nd here in 2020. I think he's fine at 6,200. He'll be like 1%. Gotterup will be less than he'll probably be like 0.2% is what Gotterup will be. You can play 2% of him. I think that's about it for me here at this bottom range. So definitely some good options though here in the 6K range. I'll have a lot in the playbook though later.
The return of Snedeker, Sneaky Snedeker. I don't know if I can get there. I do remember at what was that track where he shot a 59, and it was like if you did not play him, you stood Pebble, no chance of winning. What?
Was that Pebble maybe?
No, it was like I think it was
West Coast.
East Coast. It was one of the final tracks before the championship starts, the whole tournament or before that series event.
Okay.
What is it? The Webb Simpson. It's like his home track.
Oh, the Wyndham Championship maybe?
Yeah, I believe so. The Wyndham. There you go. Yep.
There you go.
All right, Locks. 6K range. Again, like I think, I actually this week, I know I try to get my player pool way down. If I take some big stands with Scotty and these guys, I do plan on opening up down here in this range, just because these firm and fast courses, like it creates a whole nother variable and it makes it tricky. And these shorter hitters have to, you would think that they could definitely do better here. So what are you doing with the 6K range? Who's popping for you?
Yeah, I'll start just way at the bottom from the 6Ks and go up. Personally, I don't see any guys at 6K. There is a couple guys, maybe just one. Lonto Griffin at 6,100, maybe slight interest there. He's made 2 of his last 3 cuts here. So, I mean, at 6,100, that's sometimes all you can really ask for. If you want to sprinkle it in, obviously I'm just talking about who might make the pool here down at the bottom, but Lonto Griffin would be an interest for me. Maybe Ches Reavie. I do like that call actually at 6,200. He's another guy that he kind of reminds me of Brian Harman a little in the aspect of just he's going to be hitting
a poor man's Brian Harman, right? We've said that before.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And it's just like, really his form is decent at 6,200. I can think of worse guys to click on. So I got some interest there. Ben Taylor is another guy. I think he might have been a Soldier earlier this year. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's made the deal a couple times, I think, this year, possibly early this year. Yeah,
just a guy that, I mean, we've seen him come in a top 10. Yeah, he hasn't looked great lately, but a guy down here that you can throw some darts on. I don't know about Matt Wallace. I'll let you guys choose there. I'm kind of off of him. I never get him right, so I just always X him out. But as I'm going up in this range, really some other guys, David Lipsky has looked great. He's made his last 2 cuts at this event, just finished 16th last week. I'll be off at Chad Ramey. Ben Griffin's another guy I don't mind. Probably personally going to be off of him. He just hasn't looked great lately. But another name I do like a lot is Sam Stevens. Just green and zone regulation have been super high lately. That's what I'm looking at here. Accuracy off the tee has been pretty good. Hits it a decent amount of ways. Just around the green and putting is what kind of gets him. So I might throw in a little bit of Sam Stevens down here at 6,500. If I'm looking down in this range, Akshay, I can't help myself but play a little bit of Akshay down here. I'm not going to say his last name because I'm not going to hear about it again. We all pronounce it wrong, so I'm just going to say Akshay and we'll call it a day.
I still want to go back and see what we said.
So do I. But I'll just skip over it. We'll say Akshay and move on. Brandon Wu, I got a little bit of interest in. Just fairways and greens is where I'm interested in, and guys down here. That's kind of where my focus is going to be on. So Brandon Wu, Brendan Todd, those type of guys. I got a little bit of interest in JT Poston as we're looking up here. Eric Cole, I think, bounces back a little bit. We seen him struggle last week when a lot of people were on him. So I think he bounces back here as well. But just going through there, those are kind of the names I'm kind of looking at right now. Maybe you guys will mention a couple more, but that's kind of where I'm heading.
Isn't it? It's Bhatia, right? Akshay Bhatia. Am I going to get roasted again?
Sounds right.
Snyder, sounds right.
No.
Snyder, you don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Bhatia.
I'm just not going to say what I think it is.
The best comment I had heard once was just like, why would we follow you if you can't even pronounce their names right? Like, I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Like, oh, good stuff. Adam Svensson, like good iron player. He lacks distance off the tee again. Spencer Smith, love that you brought that up because that's going to be something that I really key in on, especially with these big fairways. Plus, Svensson's been the guy's been a cut maker. He made the cut here last.
Good call.
Yeah. Like I want to avoid kind of the chalkier guys. Like Eric Cole, should profile very well, but the leverage that you'll get by playing Adam Svensson over an Eric Cole is what you really need to be thinking about. Because it's like, in reality, if you put those two side by side, like what's their odds? Like their odds can't be like that much different when you compare the two. And so that's the leverage that I want to make. Like Adam Schenk could be getting a little bit of ownership this week. I mean, he had an awesome run last week and was there down the stretch. Again, you know what he's going to be thinking about all freaking week is he had that one and, he just let it slip. So that's going to be going through his mind. And I think he's had a couple of those this year. He's been playing good golf, but I just cannot go back to him. Streelman, though, I like that call. I definitely think now is the time to get on Streelman. Brendan Todd, just another guy, the Todd father, checks a lot of boxes. He's made a bunch of cuts here. He has some decent finishes back in the day as well, the 2014-15. But it's his around the green game and his putting right now and par 4 scoring that I really like. Ranks highly in those areas. My other play, so yeah, Sepp Straka, I want to go to him. There are things that I do worry about. He's struggled around the greens. That's been the weakest part of his game, and his putting is kind of up and down. The ball striking, especially on approach, has been really dialed, though. But I worry if he gets kind of talked up a little bit. And there's going to be guys that just get jammed in down in this range. So I want to put a cap on some of the ownership down here. I think Alex Noren is an interesting call. Just another one of those guys that is awesome around the greens, and his putter is really hot right now. Everything else, though, not very good. But if we see these shorter hitters do well here, he's going to hit more fairways, maybe get a little bit more distance. He could be another guy that benefits. Same with Mackenzie Hughes. Not a guy I play typically too much. But look, if you're a believer in the zigzag theory, let's use it on his course history. What happened in 2022? T37, 21, missed the cut. 2020, T6. The last time he played before then was 2018, missed the cut. In 2017, he made the cut, like T40 or something. So if you believe in the zigzag theory there, that's kind of a reach. Mackenzie Hughes could be a guy that you go to. He's been hit or miss lately, but again, he has been a guy that randomly will show some upside. T14 at the AT&T Byron Nelson, and the T29 at the Masters. So again, a course comp that we were looking at. Andrew Putnam, good ball striker, good putter. I like him. I like the Matt Neesmith mention. And then I like the David Lipsky mention. And then, the lowest I'm going to go price-wise is Ches Reavie at 6,200. I like him a little bit. But again, if I open up my player pool a little bit, I'm setting a cap on those guys. I don't want to be overexposed to any one of them. And the other thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing at the same time is getting very overweight on the upper tier guys, the Scotty Schefflers, the John Rahms, the Patrick Cantlays that we talked about. All right, let's get on to our winners. Final thoughts, and we'll get out of here. How we do it each and every week, we give you two winners, who we think is going to win, and then a longer shot that we like in the betting markets. Snyder, I'm going to start with you. Who do you have winning this week?
Yeah, I'm just going to go based off odds. I think my guy Colin Morikawa at 25-1. I think I haven't seen a 25-1 number in quite some time. Usually it's around 20 to 22. I think it's pretty much 25 everywhere besides DK. DK still has it at 22, but everywhere else I'm looking is 25-1. If he can gain strokes putting again, I think he can win this. Have a win on this course for the second time. He finished second to Cantlay in a playoff a couple years ago. Won that workday event here. I think if he can get the putter going, he's definitely got every shot in his bag needed for this type of track. So I like him there. I think going down, I think the cream's gonna rise. I think it's gonna be a big name winning this event this week. But if I was gonna go down something, I like Adam Scott at like 55-1. I like how his game's been transitioning over the last month or so. I think he's got the putter's been good for him. The short game's good here. He can hit fairways and greens. I think he's got pretty good odds, 55-1 with some win equity. If he's in contention or something, you can always hedge off too on Sunday. So I like getting a Adam Scott ticket at 55-1.
I like the Adam Scott call. And then, your boy Colin Morikawa. Those are good odds. I can get on board with that. Locks, who do you got winning this week?
Man, this week for me, tossing between a couple guys, and I'm not sure which direction I want to go. I'm going to call Scotty the Kid. I think he's going to take this home. He's just looked too good lately. He's better than everybody. He's going to get some putts to fall. Tee to green wise, there's nobody better right now in the world. And I think he's going to show us this week. Like Snyder said earlier in the show, he could run away with this thing. And I really think that's what he's going to possibly do here. So he's my shot to my pick to win here. My long shot. What are Tommy Kim's odds? Do you have them pulled up there?
Yeah, let me find you the best number here.
I think Tommy Kim is going to be my long shot.
60-1 is the best number you can get. There's some 50s and 55s, but there's quite a few 60s out there.
So I'd say Tommy Kim is going to be my long shot to win here this week.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Hard to go against Scotty. Tough to bet on, but you got to like the Tom Kim call.
It's tough to bet that 6-1 number in such a loaded field like this, but definitely love his win equity here.
So I'm looking at MGM, so there might be better odds out here, but I'm going to go with Ricky Fowler. I didn't talk about him a ton, but you like it. Like, again, I want to own Snyder. He's always owns us. We owned him last week, and he said never Flower, never ever. What Flower do? T6. I think one thing that benefits him, he should get a little extra distance here. I love his around the green game. He's been awesome on par fours, and the putter is really dialed. 9.3 strokes gained rolling over his last 24 rounds. That's right in the range that I'm looking for. I got 40-1. What do you see on Big Dick Rick, Snyder?
Yeah, 40 is the best number there. MGM and then Borgata is good, but he's kind of down in the 35 range on a lot of spots, but 40 is definitely out there in a few markets. The
other guy I like is Big Fat Shane Lowry. Should get some extra roll. He looked good at the PGA Championship. The course history checks the box there. T20 or T6 in 2021. I think things set up for Shane Lowry, and if he rolls some putts in, I think he's going to be right there. So I love pairing these guys with a Scotty, using like a Scotty or a Rahm as kind of your anchor. So I'm going to have a lot of like semi-duplicated builds where I have these guys mixed in with one with Scotty, one with Rahm. That's going to be what my roster construction really looks like this week. And I think I feel really good about it. All right, Snyder, final thoughts.
Yeah, looking forward to this event. We have a big boy field right back this week. I'll have everything up on the site there. If you haven't subscribed yet, head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code Snyder15 for 15% off. But it sounds like the summer sale might be rolling out, so you might want to wait a day or so. Head on over, all sports, one price. I'll have the playbook and cash chart up tonight. The round one showdown will be up tomorrow, and then we'll have showdown for every day going forward. The core plays and everything will be up. The Snyder Soldiers will be out tomorrow, right around 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll have 3 value guys. And right now I have 3 value guys. I think all 3 of them may be under 7,200. So may want to check in on that for some good value plays this week. Hopefully good value plays this week. But I think they're going to keep rolling along here. And looking forward to this event. Can't wait.
Yeah, very good. And the contests over on DraftKings are awesome, as you would think for an event like this. $250K up top, $20 to get a ticket. Brian Harmon, play him, and he's just a master at helping ship those contests. But Locks, what's your final thoughts this week?
Yeah, it's funny he said $7,200 because I have a feeling that Soldier is going to start with Brian Harmon. But I think we're all on him this week. You might as well throw him on the workbench too. Just have a whole week of Brian Harmon.
But Brian Harmon, everything, and if he ships, then we just victory lap.
Brian Harmon for the ship.
Tell everyone to suck it. Send him the suck it gifs all week.
But no, I'm looking at things. There might be a slight advantage to the PMAM depending on the winds in the afternoon on Friday, but I'm not seeing much of anything to really pay attention to. It's not really getting above 10, and with these guys, if it's not above 20, I really don't care about the wind, to be honest with you. So really just watch weather, watch withdrawals, all that kind of stuff in the Discord. Feel free to shoot us message in the Discord, anything you want. We'll be in there to answer questions. So we'll get the cores up early this week, and we'll pick some winners.
I love that you brought that up. That is going to be a point of emphasis moving forward. And it was actually my mom told me. She's like, hey, the cores weren't up, but I used the playbook, and she actually absolutely smashed this week. Snyder didn't ship anything, but I think she won a couple $100. So she was going nuts and everything, and she told me to tell you thank you because she used the playbook. So Snyder, there you go. But yeah, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We appreciate each and all of you. All the premium content will be up early tomorrow. Playbook, heat map, Big T's sheet. We got the premium show tomorrow. Core plays, the projections. We're fine-tuning those. I really like how they're setting up right now. I have 1 or 2 more runs to do, and then we'll do our final look for the projections. And then, if you're a SaberSim member as well, I'll have my pool. I've been posting it in there too. I'll make a note in Discord when that is live and ready to go. So, let's all run pure this week. And Snyder, get us out of here.